Hi, and welcome to another episode of What's on Scott's Mind. And yes, per the comments that I've gotten, not much. Today, I'm running way behind. It's early in the morning on Monday. You can see the gray skies behind me. We've had 2 days of off and on rain, which, isn't horrible or unexpected per se, but it is something that is a little annoying. I'm reaching over to turn my iPad off so it doesn't make a noise. But it's been wet for the last few days, and that happens in the early summer, late spring time period in the Maryland area. I mean, you live in a swamp, you're going to get water. That's the way it works. But it's been a little bit much. I'm playing around with a bunch of weather station things, so I share weather station data, and obviously I'm able to share the amount of rain and the rate of rain and all that good kind of stuff. Rate of rain is something I care about only because when I go outside walking, if it's really heavy rain, I prefer not to walk. The impact of really heavy rain when you're walking is you get really, really wet. And neither of my water dogs, they're both Labradors, like to get wet, which is funny because when Dylan was younger, he would actually, Dylan is the older of my two dogs. When Dylan was younger, he would literally walk into the water. That was, for him, that was like everything, right? He would literally walk into the water and paddle around. When we got Raven, who is the dog that passed away a couple of years ago, she did not like the water. She was scared of water. We took her to the beach in North Carolina, and she spent the entire week trying to avoid the water. Now, towards the end of the week, she got into the water because the kids were playing in the water. And Raven was definitely the kids' dog. She absolutely loved both the twins and adored them. And so they were in the water, so she got in the water because her twins were in the water. But Raven didn't like water, so Dylan really stopped liking water. The other thing interesting psychologically from a perspective of dogs is Raven was terrified of thunderstorms. Dylan hadn't been previously because Fran, our oldest dog, who passed away, more than 10 years ago now, Fran, as a Labrador, loved water, didn't get in it much, but liked it, did not, however, like thunderstorms. She freaked out. Or didn't freak out. Excuse me, the opposite. She didn't freak out in thunderstorms. And so because of that, Dylan was chill. He didn't care. Thunderstorms didn't bother him, didn't bother Fran. Raven hated thunderstorms, so Dylan suddenly started to hate thunderstorms. And what's interesting now is our newest dog, who joined us about 2 years ago, Puck, doesn't care about thunderstorms. It doesn't bother him. What he cares about, or what bothers him, or what concerns him the most, is that he wants to be with people, and when he can't be with his people, that upsets him. So Puck doesn't care about thunderstorms, so all of a sudden Dylan doesn't care anymore, which is an interesting evaluation of the psychology of dogs. They are pack animals, so they do tend towards, like humans, they do tend towards responding the same way that the people around them do, right? They always say the psychology of a group is more dangerous than an individual person because you never know how a group's going to respond. Well, that's my interesting reality of conversations around dogs. I am a huge dog person. I always have been. Ever since I was a little kid, I've loved dogs. I adore dogs for many reasons. I spend a lot of time thinking about, what I can do to make my dog's life easier, because my dog does everything in his power to make my life easier. Anyway, my name's Scott Anderson. Now you know what's on my mind for this week, June 2025.